everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of Versus4. Episode 5 being the last of the first season. So if you don't know what Versus4 is, there are 8 content creators all playing as Juventus in their own parallel saves, and the idea is to try and get as many points in Serie A as you can, and the top 2 from 2 groups, each of 4 content creators in each group. The top 2 of those go through to a second season, and eventually the winner of Versus4 is crowned at the end of the second season. So this is the end of the first. Up until this point, I have sat at the bottom point of my creator group B. And it's been a real struggle. I've lost some early points against Lazio in the first few games of the season, and then a couple of draws as well in that first section of games, and I haven't been able to get back at them since. They've always maintained a bit of a gap on me. So I've tried as hard as I can to keep the pressure up on them all the way through this campaign as much as is possible. And you can see that in this last section, the last game that you and I were together for was this Verona match. In the league, I have not dropped a point. I am still coming for you guys. If any of them struggle in the last section of games, I can still do this and get through to next season. I believe in us. Let's see if we can do this. But you'll also notice there's other things to talk about. Now, whilst it doesn't have an impact on the point system for this particular series, I have won the Italian Cup. We beat Napoli in the final on penalties. It was a bit of a drab affair, to be honest. But eventually we won it on penalties. And we've also reached the Champions League final. Now, I will play the game after we've finished our last Serie A match. I'll go and play the game and I'll update you on the result of that at the end of this episode. So stick around for that. We might be able to win the Champions League, possibly. But we beat Atletico Madrid in the semis and Man City in the quarters. So we haven't done it the easy way by any stretch. That's a really hard set of teams to play. But we've now got Liverpool in the final. But our attention turns to the last game of the season, Atalanta away from home in Serie A. Let's go and check out the competition page. You can see that we are in the final of the Champions League. We won the Italian Cup, we won the Supercoppa Italia, and we sit top of the league, and we're already crowned as champions in Serie A. And we've picked up 100 points. If this doesn't get me through to next season, I don't know what else I could have done. We started with those couple of drop points, but since then, we've absolutely piled the pressure on. Now, our goal difference might not be particularly spectacular compared to some of the other content creators. So if that's what does me in eventually, that's fair enough. But hopefully the points total won't. But we've got one more game to play. 103 points are on, a possibility. And Atalanta, sorry, I didn't mean to press that button. Atalanta sit in third. They are not going to be any sort of pushover in today's game at all. So let's go and check out what we've been able to do in terms of the personnel. This is the style we've stuck to. We've played it all the way through. We've had some fairly troubling injuries to the likes of Dybala for quite a while. So we had to revert a little bit to changing this up a little bit, and Costa was the other really big one. He's still out for 6 weeks. He's been out for a couple of weeks. So we had to move Ronaldo back to his left berth position rather than playing him up top. We brought Higuain back in. Higuain is doing better than he had done previously a little bit. Having said that, no goals in the last 5 games. He's scored 15 in 38. Still not quite enough. But he's the best option, I think, just for the final bits of the season to keep a settled side. Bernardeschi plays instead of Dybala today just because of that knock to Dybala. And Bernardeschi's had one a little bit as well, but he's still in a better condition. Other than that, mostly we've got most of these players through the season pretty much unharmed most of the time. This central midfield three has been fantastic for us. They may not all get the plaudits that they deserve, but they've played a lot of games. 38 games, 8 goals for Matuidi. If we go and check out Pjanic, our real key creative influence, 10 assists in 33 games, which is great. And then Bentancur, 10 goals in 41 games. You can see they've played a massive part in the way this team has been playing. And then you've got the sprinkling of Ronaldo on top. Hasn't been as prolific recently, only 1 goal in his last 5 games. 25 in 34 starts though. Not too bad, especially for a player that I found at times through the season was a little bit injury prone. And spoiler alert, if we're here next season, I don't know whether he will be a star of our show or not. I've got some thoughts on that, but I can't divulge any of that until we get through to next season. And if we don't, you'll never know what I was planning. Anyway, that's just a bit of a teaser for potentially what might happen next season. For now, though, we've got one more game, Atalanta in Serie A. So we've gone with Szczesny in goal, Bonucci and De Ligt in central defence, Danilo at right back, Sandro at left back, Matuidi, Pjanic and Bentancur in that central midfield, with Bernardeschi and Ronaldo supporting Higuain up top, with pretty much everybody else on the bench, other than the really unlucky Costa, who picked up such a nasty injury. Anyway, let's get into the final game of Season 1 and see what happens. So we'll go again with passionately. We are favourites for a reason. Go and show everybody why that is. Put the onus on them to go and get a good result. Even though we're at a really top level side away from home, we are still Juventus. We are still the runaway leaders of Serie A. And we still have to have confidence in ourselves to go and get this win. So Pjanic on the ball for a free kick to the far post. And in off the rebound, I think. Bernardeschi, I thought, got the first header in. We'll have to check it exactly on the replay as to what happened after that point. But a good whipped ball in from Pjanic right the way through to the far post. Bernardeschi, the goalkeeper. And then it's an own goal. They've shot themselves in the foot with an own goal. The goalkeeper scrambles it out. And I don't know what the defender was thinking, but he puts it into the back of the net. And what have we given away here? Hopefully it's only a free kick on the edge of the box, but the referee's coming to have a look at it on the VAR. So let's hope that actually he doesn't give anything more than that, and they can have a slightly inconsequential free kick or right down the side of the penalty box. Let's see what he comes out and says. Excuse me. It's a penalty. Not the inconsequential free kick that I was hoping for. Come on then, Szczesny. Show me that Buffon isn't the number one here. And he does. He scrambles it clear. The shot comes back in again. And Szczesny picks up the loose ball on a tame second shot and saves us the chance of going 1-1 at that point. Szczesny did a fantastic job there. Well done. And proves why he's been my number one all the way through. Buffon is fantastic. Of course he is. And he's a brilliant replacement. But I think Szczesny's just at this stage in his career got a little bit more to offer us. Ronaldo gets a chance. Doesn't really take it. Bit of a lame shot from the edge of the box. Could have driven even more, I think. Committed another player into a challenge just as he was going into the box. Chose not to. It was a bit of a tame attempt. Atalanta come down the left-hand side this time, so they'll run into Danilo, but they get the ball past him, and we almost gift them an absolute sitter from De Ligt, just tapping it nicely to their attacking player, who doesn't quite get the shot on target in the end, but poor defending. We've worked it very nicely down the left-hand side. Sandro with a chance, cuts it into Ronaldo, back to Sandro. One more chance to the cross in. He doesn't. It goes short. And eventually the shot by Ronaldo is blocked and they get it cleared. But we're going to have a throw in down this left-hand side. This highlight isn't over quite yet. Into Ronaldo. Back to Sandro. Come on, where's the ball in? And he takes a wild shot. Not the player you want on a shot like that, is it really? And we don't really challenge the goalkeeper at all in that period of play. And that's a little bit disappointing. We should have had at least one more really true, sound effort on goal. It didn't quite come, did it? Still, we go 1-0 up after an own goal. We had a penalty saved by Szczesny, which is great. So we will calmly just say, things are going well, but I know you're capable of even more, and send them straight back out for the second half. We'll be ready for a few substitutes later in the game. But it's Atalanta down the left-hand side with the first highlight of the second half. Can we get a foot in? Can we squeeze the play somewhere and get a challenge in and take the ball away from them? So far, not. That is the simple reality. They get the cross in and, they got lucky. They got really lucky. That first header in rebounds off the defender. The goalkeeper's already unbalanced then, and it falls so nicely for them, and they get a good shot. But it was a fairly lucky goal in the end. There's the header, rebounds, the goalkeeper is unsighted, and they get a fairly lucky goal, I would still maintain. 50 minutes in, are we going to rue the chances that we lost out to in the first half when we should have been putting them under more pressure? It looks like we might. They had a good chance there as well. Substitution time, not happy with how this team is playing. And here's the area of concern. We've got a complacent Danilo. He can come out straight away. Don't like that. Excuse me, my voice is going. But Bernardeschi is another problem. So we're going to play the slightly injured Dybala just in the last few minutes of the game and see if he can help us escape a bit of a problem. And then we're going to take either Bentancur or Ronaldo out. We can't really take Ronaldo out so much because we don't have Costa. So we'll take Bentancur out and we'll bring Ramsey on in that sort of Mezzala sort of attacking midfield role. And we'll see what he can do from there. But yeah, so far a little bit disappointing. And the last thing we can do is we can just change up to very attacking for the last 15 minutes of the game and see if we can come away with something. We've had the shots at goal, but not so many on target. We haven't had hardly any of the possession, which is very disappointing today. And it looks like we're going to find a way to ruin the last game of the season and lose a couple of points. Now, if we lose out on the opportunity to qualify for season 2 by a couple of points, that is going to be so frustrating. And after such a brilliant run, we got to the last game against a really good side and just stumbled slightly. So there's a chance for others to continue to be above us. Very disappointing, really. But we finish on 101 points in Serie A. And I guess ultimately we can tell them that we're not happy with that. But ultimately, if other content creators have won more than 101 points this season in Serie A, then they deserve to go through, don't they, really? But we've put as much pressure on them as we possibly could have. And maybe we've come up slightly short. But we're not going to know. I'm not going to know until you know, until all of the episodes drop at the same time today. So as we speak now and you're watching this, their episodes are dropping as well. And I'm probably in some of those chats just seeing what my group opponents have done. So go and check out the likes of Avoiding Relegation, Custard Profit and Chasing Lamely specifically and see whether we've managed to gain any ground on them just at the last few games of the season and squeaked into next season or not. Who knows? I don't. We'll have to go and check that out. But I promised you one last thing, that I would play through to the Champions League final and then update you on that result just as the last bit of this particular episode. Who knows whether this will be my last episode for Versus4 or not. I genuinely don't. So we'll have to wait and see. But I will go and play through the Champions League final. Give me a second to do that and we will come back and I'll let you know how we got on. So, did we win the Champions League final? No, we didn't. Unfortunately, we did so well. We kept them for so long in the game. We went 1-up after 12 minutes by Higuain. Mane picked them back into the game at 61 minutes. We went right the way through to extra time. And then in the 115th minute, we were all beginning to struggle, really. Wasn't quite working out for us at that point. And eventually, Naby Keita picked a goal for them and they took the title away from us. We played pretty well for some of us. I mean, Higuain did brilliantly well up top. Other than that, there were a couple of disappointing team members. Bentancur didn't have a great game, so Ramsey came on for him. Not Ramsey, Rabiot came on for him. And it was just one of those days where it didn't quite work out for us. Picked up a couple of yellow cards. And in the end, the trophy went to Liverpool. And fair play to them for that. That's just the way it works out in finals at times. We had a fantastic season. Champions League finalists, Italian Cup winners, Super Coppa Italia winners. Juventus won the Serie A title at an absolute canter on 101 points. But that is the question. Is 101 points going to be enough to get me through to season 2 of Versus4? You'll have to check in with the other content creators to find out, or wait for the Custard Profits recap episode that will be out in a few days from now to find out. I'm as interested as you are. I genuinely don't know if we've made it. So I'm going to go and head off and have a look for other content creators' videos and see. I hope you'll join me in that. Thank you so much for joining me through this first season. I hope I'll see you again for season 2, but I don't know whether I will or not. So I'll say thank you for joining me. Thank you for the support on these particular episodes from my channel. Thank you for supporting everybody else's. All the links to everybody else in this competition are in the description below. So go and check them out and be supportive in that. If I'm not in season 2 because I get knocked out, I will be a regular contributor in terms of comments in the comments below, other people's videos, and I'll still be paying a lot of attention, because whatever happens in this one, I'll be back hopefully for season 5 of Versus, and we'll see what we can do then. But that's for another day. Do we get into season 2 of Versus4? Let's find out. Thanks very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.